Yo, what's up guys, what's going on? Your good buddy Frank Daniels here, and today I'm going to talk about the fitness qualities or the fitness training qualities that make a well-rounded fitness athlete. So if you're trying to have a long career in training, being athletic, being active, and not necessarily committing to the rocking chair anytime soon, you're going to need to be focusing or paying attention to all of this stuff, all right? So we're going to talk about that today. Before I get into that, real quick, I have a free report that's going to explain a lot of the things that I'm telling you right now. It's called 7 Steps to Shredded. If you're interested in getting shredded, you can download that by clicking the first link in the description right here, and at the end of this video we'll have a place up here where you can grab it, all right? So let's talk fitness qualities of a well-rounded fitness athlete. And one of the reasons I'm having this conversation is because sometimes I think these things get mashed into one with people's general excitement about, I like to use the term getting tired. Getting tired is always the goal of the session, and if you're always kind of pushing this getting tired thing and not understanding that these pieces are sometimes separate pieces that need to be trained that way, you won't be as well-rounded. Okay, so let me explain that to you right now. So what are the different qualities that you need? Well, mobility, right? You might know the term flexibility. Basically, if your joints don't move well, at some point you're going to get banged up, and you might be feeling that right now, like, oh, this hurts, that hurts. Well, it usually has something to do with mobility or the term flexibility. I'm kind of using them interchangeably, but if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So you got to focus on that. So if it's not programmed into your training, and even outside of just your warm-up, right? Like you might know, like, oh, okay, I got to warm up. That's cool. But if you don't program this stuff in multiple areas of your day, you're going to hit that rocking chair sooner than later. So we're trying to extend that, push that back, right? Balance and coordination. I've been working for a number of years with a lot of clients, and every once in a while someone will say, well, I'm not coordinated, or they don't think they got to focus on coordination or balance. And I'll tell you right now, if you're not balanced and you're not coordinated, there's a good shot you're going to struggle to get in shape. Okay? It's just not going to happen. Because you're not going to be able to produce force in the movements and basically create a type of intensity that's going to get you in shape. So it doesn't mean you have to stand on one leg all day. You can work balance and coordination in some of these other pieces right here. But once again, if you don't have coordination, then you need to be focusing on it, because you're just not going to be able to produce force, and it's going to be tough to get in shape, right? The next thing, power and speed. Now, some experts say that the decline in power, so the ability to produce force, so think of how an athlete either jumps or sprints fast or moving an object quickly, the ability to produce force is one of the first things that start to decline. And when that decline happens, once again, it brings you closer to old age that you want to be. So power is a quality that everyone needs to train. Even your grandfather and your grandmother should be training power, right? So it's a different thing, okay, than just conditioning. I'll talk about that in a second. Of course, strength. Once again, strength is very important. Strength builds muscles. Muscles protect bones. Muscle is is your metabolism, basically. Your metabolism is predicated off the amount of muscle mass that you have in relationship to the body fat on your body. So building muscle is an important part about being in really good shape and being a good fitness athlete, right? So we got to work on strength. And finally, the last piece is conditioning, or quote-unquote cardio. Now, one of the reasons I'm having this conversation with you is because, in my experience, what I see is that most people try to mash all this stuff into what we call conditioning. And that's because of people's preconceived notions about what's supposed to happen during a training session. So, for example, if I'm not breathing hard, sweating like crazy the entire session, then it's something that didn't work. Now, that's how you kind of cut your nose off to spite your face, right? So a lot of people turn cardio and mash all this other stuff in there because they believe that's the best thing for them. Now, I'm not saying that that's terrible. I'm not saying that's completely wrong, and you'll know a lot of stuff that's conditioning, right? So we run metabolic strength sessions at our gym here, and that's kind of like what you think of as like a boot camp. CrossFit does a similar type of thing. What we're doing is we're mashing all this stuff together, and that can be a very effective fat loss tool. But over the course of the time, it becomes limited because you're not developing these things by themselves. Okay, again, it can be a very effective fat loss tool, but eventually you want to transition and understand that you need to be working on this stuff also. So, so once again, and especially these three things are very important. So when you think about going through your training session, you usually start up front with your warm up, and you're doing some stuff to get your joints opened up, get your body temperature warmer, warm up the tissues so you can get into this stuff. But a really kind of simplified version of looking at an entire training session is when you step in, power and speed. Think of things like box jumps, kettlebell swings, sprinting, things of that nature. In order to maintain power and speed, you cannot be that tired. You know, so think about Usain Bolt. If he's going to run a 100-meter dash, he doesn't just run 100 after 100 after 100, and you're timing him by the 8th one. He's slow as, you know, he's slow. Okay, you don't want that. He runs the 100 when he's completely fresh. That's when he gets the most power. So if you want to develop power, because once again you're going to lose it as you age, you want to do it when you're fresh, when you're coordinated, when you're not so tired, and you need more time in between sets. You're not trying to do cardio because you need to improve this, right? Because otherwise you're going to lose it. If you mash it in with this, okay, the more tired you are, the more you're going to lose this. And I hope that makes sense. And once again, moving into strength, in your session as you progress, go through your power stuff, that's the first little block that you do. You do this when you're fresh, when you feel good, you have enough rest, boom, you develop your power, okay? It fills up, okay? Now you're very good at producing force. Then you move on to your strength stuff. And it's not like you don't get tired doing strength stuff. It's just that your goal is not to do conditioning. You want to get stronger. So you do need enough rest in order to be able to lift enough weights to be able to challenge you, okay? That's not always the heaviest weight that you can lift, but it is a certain percentage of what your maximum effort would be. So it's got to be something that challenges you, right? If you keep mashing it into cardio, you're just going to go lighter and lighter weights. So that's fine. Doesn't mean your body's going to be terrible or you're not in decent shape, whatever it might be. It just means that you're never going to work these things, which are going, or improve at those things, which are going to decline as you age, right? And this also opens up a bigger, like Eric Cressy talks about, gives you a bigger fitness bucket to move from. So when I have really good strength, okay, and really good power, it enables me to be better at cardio, at conditioning. It enables me to be better at everything else. So if I don't work on strength, okay, I'm missing out on that stuff, all right? So it's important to, like, this is a separate thing. And then finally at the end, then you can do your conditioning, you do your cardio. You do your stuff that makes you tired, okay, whatever that is. Then you really get your sweat on, you really get your breathing hard on, and it's a small portion at the end of the session. All of our kind of personal training sessions and athletic sessions kind of run in this, where we kind of warm up and go through our mobility and our coordination stuff, and then we're moving on to power. It's a separate thing, okay? Strength is a separate thing, and then finally we go into conditioning or quote-unquote cardio to kind of finish off the session right. But again, the person is not necessarily going right to conditioning. This is the big problem with a lot of trainees out there is you're only aiming at this particular thing, so you can improve that. That's great, but you'll improve this a lot more if you're understanding that these are completely separate components of being able to be fit, and they should be trained as their own quality often enough so that you can actually improve them and improve in all areas of your fitness. So I hope this makes sense, guys. These are separate. They're all separate things, and they all need to be focused on, often in terms of just the general session itself. Again, it's not saying that doing conditioning circuits, boot camps, CrossFit is incorrect, and that's not getting you in great shape. It is, but you'll get in a lot better shape if you do understand that these fitness qualities are a separate piece in their own and how to train them appropriately. All right, guys, so don't just get caught up in doing conditioning or doing cardio where you're always getting tired, you're always getting sweaty. Make sure you back up a little bit and focus on getting stronger, developing power. If you're lacking coordination, you need to work on that, right? And obviously mobility is a huge, huge piece of any good fitness athlete that's going to have a great body and endure or stand the test of time, being able to train and be active, all that good stuff that we're all looking for, right? So, so hope this helped, guys. head down below, leave me a comment, let me know if it helped you. Of course, like this video and share it with your friends if you think it's going to help them. Subscribe to the channel. My name is Frank Daniels. 7 Steps to Shredded is going to be located over here or over here. So make sure you grab that if you want to understand what 7 Steps to Shredded is. Free report for you. Grab it over here. All right, guys, we will catch up soon.